What does Electronic Arts and Activision have in common? Besides that, they have made some of the biggest franchises in gaming, one of these being Call of Duty. Honestly, the franchise needs no introduction. It's like the emotional scars your ex left you. You know they are there even if you try to ignore them. This isn't so much a review as it is just me talking about my experience with the game and offering my perspective. This is important for you to remember as I am not a reviewer. I am an enjoyer and an entertainer. You want a serious review? There's thousands out there for you to check out. Or, you can always watch IGN. Oh man, sorry. I couldn't resist. Nonetheless, I believe it's my job as an entertainer to at least try to analyze the game. It's my calling, nay, it's my duty. You could even say it's my Call of Duty. Now, let's get started with our first episode of a section that shall henceforth be known as Action Faction. But oh no, the road is blocked by the nefarious army of people not subscribed. Quickly everyone, shoot them with your subscribe guns. Good job, you get a Medal of Honor. I'll start us off by admitting I've never been a fan of the franchise. Not because I'm against it or anything, but I guess the reputation of its fans turned me off. However, a couple of months ago I decided, you know what, let's see what the first game is like. It's always interesting to see how gaming babies were made. I have to say, it was a bit weird the first time the game started, as instead of it being displayed full screen like normal, you have this big square right in the middle screwing with years of conditioning. Before each mission you get a loading screen where your character narrates what is happening through diaries or documents. I have to say, this added a lot to the immersion, but we'll discuss that later. Your first mission is a tutorial where you are finally justified for loading your weapon after firing just one shot in every game. This level is fairly short as you get all stuff you basically already know. You can aim, you can shoot, crawl, throw grenades, etc. In other news, Water is Wet, that hasn't returned from the store and Resident Evil 4 was released again. You'd be in your right to think a game this old would have aged like your mama, but at least on the gameplay department it's alright. The controls are pretty responsive and they hold up pretty well. That's not to say they don't have a couple of parasitic tumors in the ass, but it's not so bad once you get used to them. To begin with, to aim you have to right click. Pretty standard, right? And to go back to normal you just release, no? Nope! For that you need to right click again! It might not sound too bad, but imagine this being the case in Warzone. So what, just run and you'll go back to normal. No! There is no run button. Left shift is instead for melee. Also to crouch and go prone you have to push the C and control keys respectively. And to go back to normal you have to press the space bar. Jesus, this game sure does love to make things confusing. No wonder we got two freaking sequels with almost the same name. Apart from that, you have to manually select your grenades instead of just pushing a key. And you're also taught how to plant dynamite on very specific sections instead of allowing you to place it everywhere you see. Probably for the best.
In trouble! Stand out, soldier. We're in observation mode.
But hey, you can live with this. It was the year 2003. We were still discovering what worked and what didn't. We got Halo, so we clearly were getting there. These were annoyances, but nothing that could ruin my experience, really. You could probably change these settings, but I always prefer to play games as intended by the developers. And if they wanted your experience to be like having a cactus up your rectum, then hey, who am I to deny them that? Once the game started, I quickly realized this would be a very different experience from the regular shooter. You get thrown off a plane and are supposed to get the signal working so everyone else can come, but your superior got wrecked as soon as you arrive, so now it's up to you. So you do your job and... Oh my fantastic first mission. Seriously, this is how you do war games justice. Alarms go off, you see gunfire everywhere, soldiers appear by the dozen and the entire thing is just chaos. And this is the real Call of Duty experience. You aren't a super soldier, you're just random McDude, ordinary soldier. And the game makes you feel like it. You are not the protagonist here, you're just some guy. Moving without a care is how you get bodied, and the game makes sure you know this from minute one. If you try to reach those houses by running around like a goon in the middle of an open field, you are going to get unalive. Cause these fuckers actually have good aim. So what if I get hit? I can just take cover and heal. No! There is no health regeneration. You get a life bar and medkits every now and then. So that waiting around isn't working here. Cause that's for... Honestly, this is more fun than it sounds. Having limited life and healing makes your butthole tense up every time you get hit. Think about it. Would insert Souls-like game here be as fun if all you had to do to heal was wait a couple seconds? No, right? You actually have to consider your options and play smart. And I hadn't realized how fun this could be until I thought about it. If you have played the new Doom games, you understand. If not, then... Are you okay? Do you hate fun? Anyways, the game continues and you aren't alone. Accompanying you are your fellow soldiers who will fight with you. And trust me, they are needed. Unlike other shooters where your allies just hang around with their dicks in hand while you do all the work, these actually are helpful. They can kill enemies, sometimes even more than you, noob, and will die if they take too much damage, be it from enemies or from you. Which just makes me feel even worse over the fact I kept shooting them. And I'm not talking just once or twice either. I swear to Segara Sanjiro, I shot them at least once in every single level. Fighting in a hallway? Bang! Storming an enemy base? Bang! Asking for toilet paper in the bathroom? Fuck! Bang! I swear, this wasn't on purpose or me doing a bit, just a series of unfortunate events that serve us to prove as to why I should not participate in World War III. I would start every mission dreading having a body besides me, knowing this would be their final day. I do my best to be careful too, but alas, it was my destiny to shoot my friends. Sorry buddy, looks like you won't be meeting your son after all. You might have noticed I haven't talked about the story, and that's because... there isn't one! Okay, I'm lying. Technically there is a story, but so is there in Freddy Godfinger. Not exactly the best comparison. What I mean to say is that there really isn't a plot, it's more like a bunch of things happening and you're just kind of... there. Hanging out, maybe watching a fly land on some garbage. You're basically just a generic soldier in World War II instead of the giga-chat that is Leo Major. You go in, carry some orders, and clap German chicks. End of story. Later on in the series we'll get amazing stories and impactful moments. Like that one that everyone keeps talking about. But on the first entry you get none of that. Sadly the characters aren't much better as I legit had no idea who anyone was. Not even myself. You played 3 characters and I can't remember the name of any of them, much less my teammates. Imagine that shit. You fight and die with these people. You get invited to the funeral and have no idea what their name was. How did you know Franklin? Is he here? Strangely enough, I am fine with that. Why? Because... immersion! Holy f***, does this game make you feel like a regular soldier? You try to rambo this shit and you are getting a panzer to the face. You see your teammates fight and perish next to you, you get shell-shocked by being close to an explosion, every battle becomes a peekaboo contest, your mission can quickly turn from attack to defense to flank and blow shit up just like in real combat. Oh! I cannot explain this in words, but trust me, the best part of this game was role-playing the entire time as Private Buonny. Sniper, trash talker, and highest friendly kill count in the army. I always imagined myself stressing out my teammates every time they had to be in front of me. Or screaming my lungs out whenever I got lost. Which frankly happened a lot, but this always happens to me. Once as a baby too. If you play this game, I highly encourage you to just give reality the middle finger and submerge yourself in the experience. I honestly have no problems with the lack of story cause the levels were insanely fun. You have already seen a bit of gameplay, but seriously, these missions are super entertaining. You take a village occupied by Shylily Sims, assault a manor to rescue some officers, infiltrate a dam to disable anti-aircraft guns, only to get lost and run around like a moron for 15 minutes. This is bullshit! Finally! Get an opportunity to go wild and use that dynamite like crazy.
Kaboom! Yes, Rico. Kaboom.
And even getting to drive a tank! You get my point. This game rocks! Seriously, it is worth playing just for the level designs. I didn't want to talk too much about this moment so I wouldn't spoil you the surprise, but I am not kidding when I say I remember every single mission perfectly. They are just that memorable and some can be surprisingly tough. I remember at one point close to the end, I was supposed to take this building from the army of Sims. If it had any relevance, I have no idea. As far as I know, it was just an apartment. Anyways, I think I died in this mission way more times than at any other point in the game. I tried. Again. And again. and again, and every time I would die in less than 5 minutes. Finally, I decided to bitch down and start camping. I'm ashamed to admit it worked. On another mission, I had to escape by car while the Sims were chasing me. I had to shoot their asses with a rocket launcher, which was fun. Problem was, the ammo was limited and my car could and did explode after taking a lot of damage. I shot the rockets perfectly at every car except for this son of a bitch over here that kept appearing way into the level, making my car explode if I so much as took a second to fire, and causing me to repeat the level over and over again from the very beginning. Fun fact, I once got a game over because I kept shooting my friend in the head. I could stay here and talk about all the funny moments in my game, but frankly we would stay here for a while because shenanigans were very much constant. Okay, we looked at the good and the bad, sort of. So now it's time for our closing thoughts. If you like FPSs, I would recommend you give this game a shot, if only out of curiosity to see how the series started. But Call of Duty games suck! Look, I'm going to level with you. I can say I'm a pretty big fan of the franchise either, but I do believe every game deserves a chance. Things have changed a lot from back then, and if you don't like the current games, it might not be a bad idea to go back to simpler times. The game doesn't look fantastic by modern standards, but the gameplay holds up pretty well, even with a few stinkers in it. You're bound to find some enjoyment with its level design and immersion. I certainly did, way more than I originally thought. I expected to play an awkward mess that was just okay, but to my surprise this is actually one of the most fun shooters I've played in a while. Not a fabulous game that will change your world, but certainly a fun one. And that's what games should be about, I think. In a normal review they would give a score. This was not supposed to be one, yet it seems it ended up as one anyways. I don't usually like scores, mostly because they are pretty subjective, but some people find some enjoyment in those, so for the sake of those people, I'm going to grade it in a scale from 1 to 7. 1 being absolute garbage, dog shit that barely qualifies as a game, 4 being the average, and 7 being I would put a baby in it if it were a VTuber. In a normal 1 to 10 scale, what's the difference between a 7 and an 8? I feel like this is more concise. So, I give this game 5 German waifus out of 7. I understand if some people don't want to try it because of the franchise it belongs to, or maybe you tried it and just decided you didn't like it, and honestly that's fine. No judging and no insults. We like to joke around here, but everyone is free to enjoy or dislike whatever they want. If you like the game, it would make me happy. But if you don't, that's also fine. It simply wasn't for you, but I appreciate you giving it a shot. And hey man, sorry for the slaps. Why don't we play for a bit and see if you like it? Oh no. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. I spent way too long making it, but it was really fun. You might have also noticed the audio quality has improved, and that's cause I got my first professional microphone. I'm still getting used to it, so if you hear rain or something in the background, it's because of that. Anyways, if you get to try the game, let me know what you thought about it. And if you'd like me to review any game in particular, also tell me in the comments and I might get to it one day. In the meantime, take a look at the other videos I've made, like the insanely creative world of Flash games. That's all for now, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!